What is going on, guys? Thank you for joining me on another edition of the Ravens Nest. Today we're going to be diving into the AFC North tight end rankings. This division doesn't have a ton of great tight ends. It has some top end talent, but the depth after that, it's not great. So without further ado, coming in at number 4 is the Cincinnati Bengals. Their top tight end last season was Drew Sample. Yes, Drew Sample. He's a second round pick, second year guy out of Washington. He had 40 catches, 350 yards, and 1 touchdown. Honestly, most of the Cincinnati Bengals tight ends were pretty much non-factors. I will say this, I would have been very curious to see what they would have done with that 5th overall pick if Kyle Pitts did fall. I think if you swap him and Jamar Chase out, just because the Bengals have a good amount of depth at wide receiver, I think they would have ended up taking Kyle Pitts, but I guess we'll never know. Their second string tight end is CJ Uzoma. He had 8 catches for 90 yards and 1 touchdown. Yet again, picture this if it was Kyle Pitts. Their third string tight end is Mason Shrek. I don't know. 7th round pick, no stats last season. Yet again, imagine if this was Kyle Pitts. Coming at number 3 on our list is the Pittsburgh Steelers tight end group. It's led by Eric Ebron. Last year he had 56 catches, 550 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He also benefited from playing next to the talented trio of receivers in Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Chase Claypool. Him and Big Ben had a great rapport last year. We'll see how that goes this next upcoming season. Their second string tight end, I should say, this upcoming year is going to be Pat Freiermuth. I hope I'm saying that right. He was a 2nd round pick out of Penn State. He's a big physical freak athlete. He's 6'5", 260. He's going to be a matchup nightmare for people. I'm going to be curious to see if him and Ebron are on the field together. You know, maybe more 12 personnel. I know they're trying to run the ball this year, so that'll be something to look forward to. And then their third string tight end is Zach Gentry. Dude's enormous. 6'8", 260. He didn't really have many stats, but Pittsburgh didn't really use their tight ends last year, so that's nothing really against him, I don't think. I'm also going to throw in Derek Watt. Yes, that's the third Watt brother. I'm not really going to make a fullback segment, so I figured it'd be good to mention fullbacks here. Fullbacks, I love fullbacks, man. Go beat skulls in. Those are my type of people. Coming at number 2 on my list is the Cleveland Browns tight end group. It's led by Austin Hooper. Last year, big free agent get for the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if he quite lived up to the money they gave him, but, you get paid what someone's willing to pay, and he got his bag. Last year he had 46 catches, 430 yards, 4 touchdowns. Very talented player, former Atlanta Falcon. Maybe some of his stats, or his lack thereof stats, I should say, is due to the fact that he's playing on this loaded offense. He's not going to get, as many targets as some people. But he's very productive. Like I said, I don't know if he lived up to his contract. It was 4 years, $42 million. So, it's not terrible. Harrison Bryant is their backup tight end. He's just 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, nothing special out of him. Like I said, though, they have so many talented players in offense between their running backs and wide receivers. Not everyone's going to get targets. The one player I will say I wish the Baltimore Ravens could somehow get their hands on, because he's just an absolute freak of an athlete, is David Njoku. He was injured last year yet again. Seems to be a theme in his career. They can't trade him because no one will give him anything for him. He only had 19 catches, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, but who knows what happens with him if he gets a full season under his belt. Coming in at the top spot is the Baltimore Ravens tight end group. They're led by Mark Andrews. He was a Pro Bowler 2 years ago, 58 catches last year, 700 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns. Then you also got Nick Boyle. He's injured last year. He had a gruesome knee injury against the Patriots. Hated to see it. He blew out his knee. 14 catches, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. He only played 5 games. He didn't have a ton of stats, but in the offense that the Ravens run, he's very important. He's that H-back. He's that guy who's going to, block the end, dig out linebackers, and he's very reliable. He's very useful all around. They also had Pat Ricard, the Pro Bowl fullback, kind of took on Nick Boyle's role. He was that H-back, blocking people, making people move. Ravens obviously run the ball a lot. He's a big part that allows them to do that. One quick little anecdote. When I was an undergrad student assistant at UMaine, Pat Ricard was there, so I just figured I'd give that shout out because that's kind of a cool plug. Some the Ravens ended up trading for is Josh Oliver. He's a 2019 third round pick. I believe he had foot surgery last year. He's going to be this typical Y tight end, that seam ball getter. That's what I see him. I kind of see him playing that Hayden Hurst role. If the Ravens want to get into 13 personnel again, I think he could be effective there because he's basically a big wide receiver. It could be a very big matchup problem going forward. With that being said, I hope you liked my list. If you could please like, comment, and maybe subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be finishing out these AFC North position rankings here going forward. During the season, I will be doing a little bit more in-depth stuff. I'm going to be getting the NFL Game Pass and breaking down pretty much everything the Ravens do from an offensive standpoint, and I'm going to try and dig into some defensive stuff too to show you kind of more of the schematics and why things work, what is working, how they can improve, stuff like that. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe.